Simone showed he's a real threat to Freesia last week at VIR. With Road Atlanta providing a similar style of track, will he be able to repeat it? Or will the much shorter lap length here in Georgia create more complications that could throw them all for a loop? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch round 3 of the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series. And you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Ossian Puhaka. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Road Atlanta's connections to sports car racing might make it seem like an odd choice for open wheel series, but the old school layout of this place will make the old Lotus feel right at home. Welcome to Road Atlanta, the scene of incredible sports car racing for decades and the home to the Petit Le Mans. This is a track that has proven itself to be worthy of attention on a world stage. With it being situated only an hour northeast of Atlanta, Georgia, the circuit is in a prime location. But despite its flagship race, in contrast to the real Le Mans, the full course is a measly 2.5 miles long. The club layouts also clock in at just under 2 miles. Packed within this small lap length is a series of technical and challenging corners, some of which can be race-ending even when small mistakes are made. Turn 1 is a fast sweeper which compresses the car into the track, but the high speeds mean that when you go off, you typically go off in a big way. Turn 3 is notorious for its curved entry into a blind apex. Too far inside and you face a cut course penalty. Too far outside and you're likely to spin out. Then there's the unassuming Turn 5. The wide curving lures you into getting greedy, but the close walls on either side gobble up cars and spit them out as a crumpled heap. With all the tricky fast turns, that's not to say that there aren't passing opportunities. The main one comes at the chicane at the bottom of the backstretch. The huge downhill drop into the turn makes outbraking yourself quite easy though, so be careful. The whole thing wraps up with the frightening final corner. With nothing but a giant wall right to the outside as cars fly through at high speed, it's not often that wrecks are small. Boasting a wide swath of series over its history, everything from NASCAR to Indy Lights and of course IMSA, the main use of the track is SCCA events and driving schools. No wonder this place is popular both in real life and here on the iRacing service. Fans will no doubt get to enjoy many more years of action at this incredible track. Really is a beautiful track here at Road Atlanta, but Ozzy, I don't think anybody's going to have time to do sightseeing. You got to stay busy around here in the cockpit.
Oh, absolutely, Joe. You know, it may not be a long track. It's just 4.1 kilometers, 2.5 miles, 12 corners, but it is hectic. I mean, all the way from turn number 1, you turn fast right, then you come downhill through these S's, which show Herman Tilke how do you actually do S's. You have the treacherous turn number 5, and then awaiting you is the Lesmos, and then the old long back straight, the chicane to end the lap. So you gotta set up the car just right here. 36 laps ahead of these guys. You have to set up the car just right. You think high downforce, you're thinking wrong. Low downforce, these corners will be even more difficult than they seem.
And well, we are 2 rounds into this 13-round season, so let's take a look at the points as they sit with things swapping around last week at VIR. Tomas Simon closes in to within 2 points on Gernot Freesia. Now, Chris Baumann still in it with his consistent results so far this season. Watch out for him in case he sneaks a win. Bascalampi, who had a nice fight back in Virginia, is a little ways back, and then you got a big jump to Thomas Torp, 42 points behind. But there's your top 5 in the drivers' standings. They also have the Classic Teams Championship, Ozzy, that they always run.
Yes, indeed. Candy Team Tyrrell, Baumann Rasimas Hebron in the lead, just 1 point ahead of the Parmalat Racing Team, the Brabham team, as some may call it, with Teemu Vaskilampi, Juanmi Costa, and Keith Herner. Then it's Team SX Lotus third, Warsteiner Arrows Racing Team fourth, and McLaren team sitting in 5th position. And it is quite tight between the top 5 still. Well, that's expected. It is just round number 3 of this season. And by the way, it's not season 3 2020, it's season 1980.
And we have some details for the race today with it being here, I guess, the 1980s unofficially. Round 3, as I mentioned, 36 laps that they're going to be running today, and it is open setup in these cars. It's a big talking point a lot of times in this series, so we'll definitely be going over that during the race. They have some incident limits if they go off track or make contact or spins. That's how they rack up those incidents. 17 of them, they will be given a drive-through penalty. 25 will be a disqualification. Now, they have qualifying underway. Rasimus right now on the provisional pole, and make that Simone now who steals it away. So these first laps tumbling in, and we're waiting on Freesia to put one down, so he could maybe switch that around. And I see Peterson yet to set a time. Number of fast drivers waiting to get on the board. There goes Vascalopi as well, and that's going to be good enough for second.
Yeah, and that's his final lap done as well, and he improves on the second lap. That is quite interesting. I'm looking at the track temp here, 36 degrees Celsius. So they can improve. It's not too hot. They can improve on the second lap. And I'm curious whether Thomas Simon can go to the 1/10. He definitely has the potential to do it, as we have a new driver on screen as well, Henri Maikkula. But yeah, Thomas Simon, he has the potential. Meanwhile, Gernot is doing the Gernot thing. He was waiting for the clouds for quite a long time, and he's only just on his warm-up lap. As Nick Thiessen is coming across the line, he goes 1:11.4, and that's good enough for 5th place.
Yeah, his first lap was an off, so he unfortunately didn't have that one count. Really under pressure, and I'd say he stepped up well to get that top 5. Simone, on his second lap, apparently didn't count it, so he came to a halt and is only going to go for the one lap. That's still got him up at the top spot. That leaves a little bit of an open door for Freesia. Could he find something better in his 2 laps?
It's Gernot Freesia. He's the 25th highest I-rated driver in the world right now, and he's been a stalwart of this series for a long time. He goes on his first lap, and the team meanwhile goes to second place. That is a good place for him. And Freesia just starting his first flying lap. What can he do? Takes the first corner wide line, and then you come to the treacherous turn number 2 complex, and then down the hill on towards the SS. Will he cut it? No, he won't. In fact, he went very wide, and that's not the optimal line you want to take through there.
Even if this first lap isn't the quickest, again, he gets 2 tries at it. Each driver gets 2 laps to try and set a time. This is Chris Baumann that we see on screen. I believe this will be his first timed lap. Oh, no, it won't be, because he had an off track as well. Wow, a lot of drivers were seeing mistakes from here in qualifying.
Yeah, and Freesia misses the apex to the back straight. Now, that's not necessarily a corner where you want to cut too much. Some people take a wide line for the better exit, and it's fine. But I'm not seeing Gernot being very happy with the car right now. He's missing the apexes, he's missing the corners. He can't plant it. So, it might be that he's not necessarily gonna be on the pole position. He has a good straight line speed. He always has, and that's a talking point as well at Honda. But I don't think this is gonna be a pole lap. However, he does have the time on his side. He still has one more lap to do. Let's see what he can do on the first lap. 1:11.6, so 9th place only for Gernot, and he has to improve 6/10 if he wants to be on the pole.
Jamie Hall, a 1:11.1. So Hall is going to jump up to the second row in 3rd place. Great effort by him. Sam Doby puts his first time in. That's a 1:12, and that will stick him in 18th. Looks like Wiltshire has already finished his qualifying, so we check on Baumann now once again, second time around, but hopefully the first lap with a time, a 1:11.155. That'll put him in 4th, just behind Hall.
Yeah, just 1/10 between the top 4, but coming back to Gernot, he takes a better entry to the back straight now, but he still missed the turn number 2 in this lap. So, he took the wide line again. A lot of people cut it. Some people don't. It's really a game of bravery whether you want to cut that corner with the 79 or not. You have to set the car right up for it. And Gernot, obviously, he hasn't. 268 km an hour at the end of the back straight, and here he cuts the chicane quite nicely. Could have taken a better exit maybe. And then he heads to the main straight once again. Cut it here flat out, no problem at all for Gernot. Turning in a little bit too early, and 1:11.3. It's a good lap, but it's not enough for top 5. It's only 7th place for the Austrian Superman.
Only, I think, one more car left to set a time. That's Sam Doby on his second lap through, and I think that should complete it. He goes a little bit quicker, but only a little less than a tenth, and he'll stay in 19th, unfortunately for him. And that is indeed it for our qualifying. Let's go through our starting grid for today. Tomas Simon with another pole position. And can he take a second win? Andy T, who has been fast but needs a good result here. He'll be starting in second next to him. Jamie Hall inside of row 2 will be P3 with Chris Bauman in 4th. And you've got Alex Millward, another driver looking for a good result this season still. 5th place for him on the grid. Timu Vaskalampi in 6th. Gernot Frischa starts 7th. He got caught in traffic last week and got only 3rd place. Will that be the case again? Mike Rasimas in 8th, Freek Tenkata in 9th, and Nick Tisson rounding out your top 10.
Thomas Torp starting 11th, as you can see here on the screen. Eetu Vainiokangas 12th. Paul Williams 13th. Willi Schwabauer 14th. Severi Seppä 15th. And San Wiltshire, John Stevens, Juan Costa, Sam Doby, and Derek Rolleveld rounding out your top 20.
Last 3 drivers are Barry West in 21st, Gord Janot in 22nd, then you've got Dylan Freckleton in 23rd. Dennis Schoening in 24th is followed by Henry Makula in 25th. Robert Plumley, 26th. All 27 drivers got times, and Simpkins will be the last of them as they start to grid up. Now, with 27 drivers on track and a split, if you want to follow all the action in this split, you can find it at gsrc.tv, where we've got live timing all race long in case your favorite driver isn't on screen. Waiting for just the last handful here in round 3 to find their way out to the grid. Then we'll get running for 36 laps around Road Atlanta. Janot and Seppa, as Severity is now out there. Every driver's on the grid. So the engines start to rev as the lights come up. Green flag is out. Simone good off the line, but not so for Jamie Hall. He is falling backwards very quickly. Looks like Bauman's going to slip into 3rd because of that, but he's already challenged by Vaskalampi as the rest of the field behind them coming through turn 1. This is going to be dangerous down to turn 3 as well. We often see trouble in here, Ozzy.
Yes, indeed we do, but this time so far so good. Couple of drivers slipping up a little bit, but no big problems here for anybody. They are fine through the first lap. Just Juan Costa, the only driver out of this event so far. One car going wide now, and that's Sean Wiltshire, but he's able to avoid contact, so everybody cleanly through the first lap in this row. And meanwhile, Joe, we got a fight between Gernot and Jamie Hall. Jamie Hall now under attack from the Rottekampflieger. Der Rottekampflieger.
Rasimas also had another cut course through turn 3. So 2 drivers with small offs, but otherwise, as we said, it's clean. Simone leads T, leads Bauman for your top 3. Bauman starting to pull a little bit here as they come down to the chicane for the first time. He doesn't manage to get an attack into that corner. In fact, it's very single file for most of the field down into what is usually a popular passing spot.
It is, nobody wants to take a risk yet. You got a 36-lap race, you got a tire still cold, and you got a treacherous track to beat here. Now Jamie Hall still ahead of Gernot. He dropped 3 places in lap number 1. He's gonna be angry, and I think he's gonna be the one making some moves. But this is now the point where you start to see the differences in straight line speeds on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th laps. Now that mistakes start to be less and less, and start to see who has the car dialed up for that long back straight. Tomas Simon, he's going to be hoping he can cut away Andy T from his back before that happens. Chris Bauman, Vaskalampi, Millward, Jamie Hall, and Gernot following them through.
To go to it yet, but we've had 2 incidents. Paul Williams had an off on lap 2, and Costa actually missed it at the very start, spun himself into the wall. So 2 drivers, unfortunately, already suffering damage. Otherwise, 25 cars are still on track and going. Down into the chicane for the second time. Simone still safe. In fact, T has started to pull away from Bauman as well. So nobody, once again, really able to do much into this braking zone at the end of the back stretch. This is a very calm start, much calmer than I expected.
Yeah, but Road Atlanta, once again, it's not going to be overly aggressive yet. Now, one guy who might be under attack is Freek Tenkate in the 8th place. He's being hounded by Nick Tisson.
We right on board with Nick Tisson there. in ninth position. Ooh, gets very close with a great run out of turn 3, down through the S's, plunging through the valley, and it's back uphill into turn 5. Oh, and it's another bad run for Tenkate. Let's see if Peterson is brave enough to try something in his 6. He's got a chance at it, but he decides not to. He patiently waits for the slipstream he knows he's going to get out of 7 down the backstretch.
Yeah, so smart from Nick Peterson. He braked early into 5. You can see him braking early into turn number 5. Felix Tenkate ahead of him took the normal braking spot. He ensured himself a good exit, and this is the result. He has a run to the back straight. Does he have the straight line speed to pull it off, Joe?
Look like it. I think he's struggling a little bit here because he's not gaining as much as I expected. So Prix stayed P8. But ahead of them, we got a nice battle for 4th. This is Vascalampi and Millward. Millward's had 2 miserable races in a row. Can he finally redeem himself here in Georgia?
Maybe. I mean, Maldonado, he's living up to his nickname in the early couple of races, being quite miserable result-wise, but he's one of the fastest drivers in this series, make no mistake. He's hounding Vascalampi, who is his great friend. They talk a lot outside of the track, but on the track they are mortal enemies, and they are usually fighting around the same place with the same kind of temperament. Both are kind of aggressive drivers, Millward more so, Vascalampi more mistake-prone, but both are fast and looking to make a mark in the top standings of this series. Now, Millward's got a good run off to the back straight, but so has Teemu. The thing is, though, Teemu has now lost the top 3 with Chris Bauman running away ahead of him, so he is going to be under attack, and it's going to be Jamie Hall and Gernot Fritzsche looking for chances to maybe pick up some crumbs from this table.
Looking very similar for Fritzsche as well. He was stuck behind a train of cars for much of the race in Virginia. We're going to watch from his perspective. A lot of sliding happening with Jamie Hall in front of him. Watch the tail end of that Williams just going all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, he's not too happy in these early laps, and he's under tremendous pressure, make no mistake. Gernot, when you got Gernot in your mirrors, that is the greatest pressure in the world. And you don't suddenly feel like you're in a wide open racetrack. No, you feel like you are in a boxing ring or maybe in a cage match. And on the opposite side of you, it is the Grandmaster F, Gernot Fritzsche, and he is hounding you down, and he wants nothing more than your scalp to take home. So Gernot right now, he is doing exactly what he wants to do at this stage. Okay, he didn't have the best of qualifying, but now in the race, he can make up positions one by one, and this is a calculating man. Right now, Gernot's thinking, I can still finish P number 3 in this race. That's what he's thinking. And now he is making sure he can end up exactly in the right position at the right time. First target is Jamie Hall.
He's locked onto that target. Is he going to go for it? Small defense from Jamie Hall, but even still, despite coming back to the racing line, Fritzsche not able to do anything with it. Just a little bit of a look. This is slowing them up slightly because behind, you can see that is Tenkate and Peterson, who have been gaining. It's starting to become a 4-car fight instead of 2 pairs.
Yeah, indeed, further behind them, very interesting battles between those guys. Frick Tenkate catching up. He's not caught in Nick Peterson's trap yet. He's actually able to pull in that gap rather to Gernot, and I wonder if Frick is going to do anything about it, or whether he's going to stick behind Gernot and let the old champion do what he does best, which is of course battle and pass someone. So Jamie Hall, under tremendous pressure, and there's nothing Jamie Hall can really do here apart from drive as fast as he can and stick to his line. That was a jab last time by from Gernot. He was looking, how will Jamie react? Will he close the door? Will he brake too late? And maybe if Gernot sees an opening, we might see the 1-2, and then we might see the right hook, the left uppercut, and then it's ding, 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 and down for the 10 count.
Got a much better run this time. And here comes that uppercut because he is to the inside, and he is even by the time they hit that first apex. A smooth and clean move for the multi-time champion to get into 6th.
Yeah, indeed, and that's Gernot now 6th place, and now he's gonna hound down Teemu, and he's gonna hound down Alex, and he's gonna be waiting for that 4th place, biding his time to catch up. Oh, Gernot makes a mistake in turn number 1, actually. Just as I was saying, just as we were giving him all the praise, he hit the grass in turn number 1 and made a rare mistake, and that's gonna allow not only Jamie Hall back through, but also Frick Tenkate.
25th rated driver on the roadside is not immune to the commentator's curse, it seems. Let's take, well, no, actually, we got to go to second place here because looks like Bauman has caught up to T. Now, he's been relatively close for a while, but look at how tight he is now. Less than a car length back in some places. Is this going to be enough slipstream? T is under immense pressure. Now, can Bauman do anything with this? We've already seen Frecia make this move. He's got that draft coming down into the braking zone. He takes a little bit of a peek, no defense. Late defense is a little block to the inside from Andy T. And he outbraked himself slightly as well.
Yeah, indeed. And here comes Chris Bauman now. He can't get a clean exit, otherwise he would have looked to the inside, but that would have been a bit of a risky move. Maybe into one. No, Chris is not close enough there. He's gonna maybe give him a look here. No, not even a look. He's just gonna come into turn number 1 and gonna stay put for now. But Chris Bauman, he is putting tremendous pressure on him. And Andy T looks like he's cracking a little bit, he's making tiny mistakes, outbreaking himself in his defense. So what Chris Bauman needs to do right now is set it up correctly, take a page out of Gernot Fritzsche's book, set up the pass, and then look to the inside on the back straight. If you can't get past with pure straight line speed, then what you need to do is look into one. Good exit of the chicane, good last corner, and look into one, and then make a gap by the time you get into the SS, and that's how you throw T into Boston Harbor.
Really hustling the car. You could see him weaving back and forth on that wheel to try to catch it out of turn 7. It maybe cost him a little bit because it doesn't look like he's gaining as fast as you'd expect here.
No, not at all. He's doing 270 in the draft. Andy T all by himself, he's doing 267. So that's only 3 k's an hour. That's 2 miles an hour difference between those guys on a straight line. Usually in a draft you see 5 to 10 k's an hour even if the plus part is downhill. So Bauman not having the greatest straight line speeds, whereas Andy T is able to defend well due to that low drag. And that's gonna pay dividends for him later on in this race.
Interesting to note that they were slightly faster than Simone that lap by. So as we watch that, Frecia is now gaining on the back of Tenkata, trying to get back the spot that he gave away due to his own error. That is back for 7th spot, still tucked in behind Jamie Hall as well. Watch from on board Gernot.
Yeah, Gernot here looking to the back straight, looking for a chance to overtake. Now the problem for him is Tenkata is known for that, freakish straight line speed, if you pardon the pun. And he's got also draft from Jamie Hall here, which he's trying to pull into. And you can see them actually switching to the right side of the track once they come over the top as well, over the
second place just came together. Second place, Chris Bauman just got into Andy T. It is boiled over, and the number 8 moves back to 5th with that error.
And here we go. You see a replay coming here. Bauman looking to the inside, and he's gonna miss his braking spot a little bit, running a bit wide, and nothing Andy T can do here. Just a clumsy bit of contact, but that's what happens when you lock up the brakes at the last second. Yeah, and T is gonna get the position back. Bauman's gonna give him the position back. Now, are those suspensions crumbled? What is the car doing right now? That's a good question. Jamie Hall also trying to challenge Chris Bauman, but he has thrown wide a wrench in the works here. Now suddenly Vaskilampi finding himself in the second place with Milborg, T, Bauman, Hall, Tenkate, Fritzsche, Thyssen all in the same battle. Look at this.
I almost think this might be a boon to Frecia, because if he's got the pace to get ahead of these guys, a little bit of chaos could give him the opportunities he's looking for. Bauman's going to give another try at T here maybe, and I think the straight line speed for Andy is way down because he is looking like a sitting duck as they go side by side into the braking. Is it going to be clean this time? Andy's not going to give it up. In fact, he defends around the outside and holds him off. A little bobble. Oh, and more contact. Jamie Hall is the one that catches it from Bauman this time.
Yeah, Bauman just getting a little bit loose. Bauman getting a little bit loose on the outside.
And Bauman with more contact, this time with Thyssen. There's only so much of that you can get with this Lotus 79 before it is just going to collapse into a mess. Poor Bauman has been torturing that machine.
Yeah, he has, and he's paid the price for it, surely. Now, this time he was able to get through, but then got loose on the outside, coming into the chicane, and that's a treacherous curb. And then he hit the other driver, he hit Jamie Hall, and both of them losing a lot of positions. Gernot still behind Hall, as he's been for a majority of this race. Oh! Gernot Fritsch came together with Jamie Hall there into the first of the Lesmos. That's so rare. That's so rare from Gernot.
Wow, what is happening at the top of the field here? These are usually incredibly skilled drivers, especially in side-by-side racing. But now, within 2 or 3 laps, well, that one, I guess you could blame a little bit on netcode from what we saw on that angle.
Yeah, but Fritsch was still coming at a speed of light into that corner. He wasn't even coming at the speed of light, sound. He was coming at the speed of light. Meanwhile, Stevens and Rasimat are battling for 12th and 13th with Severi Seppa on the outside as well. This is brewing to be quite a battle too. Severi Seppa losing that one out. Just giving those guys some screen time too, because there are some great battles going on through the back in the field as well.
Absolutely. So Rasimat,
Fritsch and Doby.
Yeah, they're going to be side by side just behind this battle. There you see him on screen now. Frisha, I think, unfortunately has too much damage because he's lost multiple positions in this recovery lap. Roelveld up to 15th. Yeah, there goes another one right there. I suspect we're going to see Gernot into pit lane to probably either get repairs or just retire it.
Yeah, Gernot not being fortunate, and that was all on him. Rare mistake. He braked too late in the first of the Lesmos and just hit the back. Granted, hit the back of Jamie Hall. Granted, there was a bit of netcode involved, but that was also just a late break, you know. He was just trying to go a little bit too aggressively into the corner and pay the price, trying to get a good run onto the back straight. So here you go, you see even the Grandmasters making mistakes like that, which is again very rare, but there you go.
Continue to watch this fight here. Yeah, with Stevens on screen and Seppa putting a lot of pressure. Credit to Gernot Frisha. He actually did immediately come onto the text chat and apologize for what had happened. So I think he's putting his hands up on that one. Down into turn 1, Severi is not quite close enough to do much. Oh, but a bad corner there through turn 1 for Stevens. Even still, looks like Seppa not brave enough to try and press the issue into 3.
Well, Severi Seppa, his surname, it means smith in Finnish, and he's certainly clanging that iron until he can make it into a fine sword. Fighting for P number 11 against the experienced veteran John Stevens. What can Severi do here? Can he do it round the back straight? He's certainly a little bit more planted in the corners. You can see him just getting a bit better grip, but he can't get the car turned into the second of the Lesmo. So he's got the car set up wrong for that one. And that can be so frustrating when you're faster on 90% of the lap, but just one corner, one mistake means you can't get the move done on him. Meanwhile, further up, we got battle, P number 5, P number 6, P number 7. It's Freak and Carter, Nick Thiessen, and Chris Baumann, Joe.
And if I was this and watching all that's been going on, I might be a little bit nervous seeing Baumann's car come up behind me. We watch from on board. This is the helmet cam from Chris Baumann in the number 9 car. They're all going to stay in line through turn 3, successfully through that incredibly blind corner. Cars picking up speed as they weave back and forth through the S's. Just ahead of them, you can see that is Andy T, not too far up the road. Remember, he's lacking top-end speed, so I wonder if they're going to start to reel him in here on the backstretch.
They very well could be. Now, that was the strength of Andy T earlier on. But then you saw that contact, and that ruined the aerodynamics of his car. It ruined the skirts, it ruined a little bit of his wing, and as a result of that, Andy T, he is struggling a little bit. Come to the later portions of this race. He's lost a draft from Alex Milward, lost 2 tenths last lap. Freak and Carter being able to gain 1.5 tenths is gaining here on the back straight once again. Now, Andy T, 267 was his top speed. Now it's barely 266 with a lighter car, so he's lost a couple of k's an hour, not too much, but still a significant difference as everyone else is getting faster and faster and faster.
I was wondering what this all this chaos did to the front of the field. Simone has had a big gap because of all the fracas behind him, and that is 4.6 seconds back to Vascalampi. Millward is up into 3rd, and those are the 3 that are ahead of what we've been watching. There is your leader in the number 2. Checking to see, and it looks like Frecia has not come into the pit, so he's going to try and continue to limp this car around, but he's down to 17th. Considering that's in a couple laps, I honestly don't think that we'll see Frecia be able to do much except maybe gather spots from drivers who have wrecked.
Yeah, and that's indeed what he is doing now. He's got Robert Plumley behind him. Robert Plumley, he's a bit of a veteran in the open-wheeler cars. Oh, and we have a battle for P2.
By Vascalampi. Was there a mistake from the Finn?
I'll check it.
I think there was out of turn 6. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we see the replay. He's coming into the second of the leftmost, turn number 6, and he's just gonna make a mistake on the exit of the corner.
I think he had a little bit of contact with the wall, too.
Yeah, he did. Here you see it actually properly this time. Look at him just hitting the curb, getting loose, and just tapped the wall ever so slightly. Now, that's not going to damage the car too much, but what it did was damage the underside of the car, which is already taking a hit from all those hits in turn number 2, turn number 3. He's going over the curb aggressively, and that means even less straight line speed, even less downforce for Teemu Vaskilampi, and even more importantly, a lost position to Alex Milborg. Behind him now, Andy T, he's looking, but he has damage as well. Frikten Kate, Nick Thyssen, Chris Bauman, all those guys are thinking, if the leaders keep making mistakes, we all may have a chance for a podium here. And what a podium it would be for guys like Andy T or guys like Frikten Kate. We don't see them too often here. Andy, he's just making a debut this season into the broadcast races, so a podium in his third race would be quite impeccable.
And you could see Millward continued to be chased here by Vascalampi. Now, cross your fingers, cross your eyes, and grab your favorite lucky charm for poor Millward, because as I mentioned, both races have just not gone well, and he is looking a little bit under threat because he had a big slide. Vascalampi down to the inside. He's still going to be chopped off down at the apex as Millward is not willing to give it up. Andy T is watching this as well, thinking maybe he could get back into that second place.
All those guys, great friends, and that's why you don't cross your eyes going into the last corner. You can get it pretty badly wrong. Vaskilampi hounding it. Andy T as well, wishing he had a car that wasn't damaged earlier on, because he could be right in the mix with these guys. Now, Milborg, Vaskilampi, T, what can they do coming onto the back straight? Vaskilampi a little too aggressive coming into turn number 6A, and that's gonna hurt him going onto the back straight. And I think Milborg is so far a little bit safer from the attacks of Vaskilampi, but definitely not safe yet. We're only halfway through this race. Anything can happen, especially with drivers who have a bit of a history of making mistakes. Milborg and Vaskilampi, they could hand this to anyone, or they could have a fight of a lifetime.
And you have to imagine that T is going to probably take advantage of things if those two start battling. And if I were them, I'd be worried, because T has got to be hot under that helmet, considering that he was kind of an innocent victim to be sent back here.
Yeah, indeed, but you just gotta get over it, really. You just gotta get over it. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds. You got your adrenaline pumping, you're boiling a little bit over, you're just, trying to think like, I could be second in this race. It could be so easy. But at this point in time, you just can't think about that. You just have to make do with what you got. Okay, you got suited aces ahead of you. You got kings, you got queens, you got jacks, you got all sorts of possibilities, and he's sitting here maybe with a 5 and a jack, unsuited, but he's gonna have to hit the jackpot with that one and hope that the river and everything else is gonna be on his side, and I'm not very good with gambling references at all.
Let's go back to Frikten Kate, because Thyssen got a fantastic run out of turn 7 down the back stretch. Let's see if Tenkata is going to defend. He does a little bit late. Thyssen, though, isn't brave enough on the brakes and isn't able to make the move. I thought for sure with how close he was, he'd have something maybe on the front stretch instead. You talked about this Aussie opportunities into turn 1 sometimes.
Opportunities indeed, and he's going to look into it, surely. Is he going to brake late enough? Oh, he's trying. He's forcing Frikten Kate wide, but not wide enough, and as a result of that, Freak is going to hold on to that position for now, but he's going once again a little bit wide. You can see Freak not taking that curve. He's taking the curve. He's going to be all the time tucked under the rear wing of Frikten Kate. Is he going to brake again? Early again into 5. Yes, he's trying it, and he goes wide. Slides, catches it. The car bottoming out a little bit. Bauman now right behind them, looking for his chances. So it's gonna be a great tussle for P number 5. And the leading trio, look at them, 2, 3, 4, not getting away anywhere, despite the fact that these guys are pretty much fighting, and Freak Tenkade has to look in his mirror. So you can see that maybe Milborg, Vaskilampi, and the T don't have the greatest of speed at this time, and maybe Thyssen is sensing, I might have an opportunity here to get them all, but he's gonna have to do them one by one, and he can't afford to do the mistake of thinking of Freak Tenkade as some sort of a stepping stone here, because that's when mistakes start to happen.
Worth pointing out as well, we are past halfway in this race, so if drivers want to start making something happen, they're going to have to do it soon, because opportunities are going to run out. These top 6, all fighting for second place, have been mixed around and jumbled around multiple laps. So we watch them plunge down towards turn 5 once again. Mistake-ridden comes to mind in this race from pretty much all of these drivers.
Yeah, that's Road Atlanta. We were wondering earlier on why are they being so calm early on. Well, that's exactly the reason. It's so easy to make a mistake here. You can get it wrong at 2, you can get it wrong at 1, as we saw Gellert Friccido, which started his downhill. You can get it wrong at 5, you can get it wrong at 6, and you can get it wrong at the exit of the last chicane. There's so many mistakes. Every corner is really danger zone, and more importantly, Joe, as you just pointed out, they're gonna hit lap traffic at some point in time.
A little bit of a run at the back there. Baumann looked like he could have had something with Thyssen, but it was not to be yet again. Almost a little bit stuck. You said that low downforce is the way to go, but it almost looks like a number of drivers have not heeded that advice.
No, and well, these are still low downforce cars, don't get me wrong. When you're hitting 270 on a straight line with 79, you're running low downforce. The thing is, you think of Road Atlanta, maybe high downforce. You know why? Because you got the S's, you got a lot of fast corners, you got turn number 5, you got the Lesmos, and you got the chicane as well. All of those are places where a lot of wing can do you a lot of good. And even the exit of turn number 5, it's still a bit 50-60 on low downforce versus high downforce into the Lesmos because of the exit you get from the high downforce car. But that back straight, it's so long. And it's such a good overtaking place that you're just gonna be a sitting duck on the early laps with the high downforce, and you have nowhere to pass, because the only chance you really get is into turn number 1, and even then you just have to absolutely send it in there if you want to get anything done. So yeah, low downforce here, traditionally the way to go, and also surprisingly high ride height. That is one of those things that's gonna decrease the downforce as well, because you got a lot of places where you bottom out the car otherwise. You talk about turn number 5, you talk about the SS, you talk about turn number 1 too. You have to set the car up really stiff from the front, otherwise you just bottom out into 1, and then you're gonna be in the wall. Vaskilampi being able to stay a little tighter here now, Joe.
Thyssen on the charge again. This time he gets inside of Tenkate, but Freak is going to hold him back. And now Baumann is right on top of the two of them. No change in position. Freak in 5th, Nick Thyssen in 6th, and Baumann in 7th.
And you can see Baumann here just following through onto Thyssen. Thyssen going very wide once again into 5. Meanwhile, further up front, Russell look from Vaskilampi onto Milborg as well. I want to see the exits onto the back straight. Milborg nailed it. Vaskilampi screwed it up a little bit. Let's see further back. Freak Tenkade, Nick Thyssen, Chris Baumann, all in a row, all following each other. And here, I'm afraid Tenkade is going to be a little bit of a sitting duck, but can he defend onto the chicane?
They're closing in. Another look now on second place as well as
Tenkade missed it.
He did, and the over-under from Nick Thyssen dutifully knows the deal here. He gets to the inside. Baumann going to try and take advantage of it, but he gets chopped off in the final turn.
And that was very aggressive from Tenkade, trying to chop off Thyssen as well. It was a lost cause, but he managed to do it to Baumann. Baumann now looking to the inside, into 1. Nothing doing there, but he saw that Tenkade is maybe losing a bit of time in these fast corners now. He's maybe not holding as tight to the apex as he could be. And as a result of that, Baumann is getting opportunities here. He's getting opportunities against Tenkade, especially if Tenkade doesn't manage to stay in the draft of Thyssen, who in turn is trying to catch up to Andy T, to Vaskilampi, to Alex Milborg as well. Amazing tussle here at Road Atlanta, and this is why this is, in terms of pure racing, perhaps the best racetrack on the Western Hemisphere. Maybe.
One of my favorites, honestly. And this is some of the most aggressive battling we've seen between Vascalompi and Millward in this fight that's been going on for the top six. Millward looks like he's struggling with top end speed. He knows it. He goes defensive. And Vascalompi looks around the outside. Could we see another over-under here? Not quite. Great exit from Millward.
Yeah, Millward was able to nail the exit. Vascalompi couldn't get the car turned in quite nicely enough. I think Vascalompi, his problem is that he set the front maybe a little bit too soft, you know.
Listen again.
Good on the mechanical grip.
Listen to the inside of Andy T. Can't quite pull off the same move this time, though. But Peterson clearly feels like he is fast here, and Andy T now the one that has to go defensive as we ride on board with Nick.
And I talked to you about lap times. And Nick Peterson last time by 1:12.39. Andy T 13.1 and rest of the group 12.9, 13.1 as well. So Nick Peterson is 8 tenths faster than the battle duo of Millward and Vascalompi. Yeah, they were battling, but still Peterson in the traffic is able to do some great lap times. So he's gonna be probably feeling like, okay, I need to get by Andy T in my comfort, but as soon as possible, and then I can join that battle for the second place. Nick Peterson once again making an amazing rise here, and here he comes to the outside of Andy T. Will he switch over? No, he won't. Will T miss his? Oh, and further ahead, Millward spun out as well from the second place. Alex Millward has spun out. Meanwhile, we're staying live. Bauman hits Frick and Kate. They're side by side, Vascalompi and Peterson goes through around the outside. Will he hold it? Yes, he will. Vascalompi relegated right now to 4th place. Vascalompi not gonna try it into turn number 1 either. Peterson is 3rd right now, and Andy T climbs back to the 2nd place. And Joe, I think we need a replay.
I definitely think we need a replay on that one. That's contact number 4 for Bauman now. And he even got him saying, "Are you kidding me?" And that was contact between Vascalompi and Millward, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and you can see Millward spinning to the outside, and then you see them coming out of the corner, all bunching up, and here you go, Frick and Kate just hitting a bit on Chris Bauman, I think. Bauman wasn't expecting Kate to change his lane, and as a result of that, Bauman once again getting a little bit shoved to the side. And I think even as a calm Swissman, even as a man known for his consistency, there's gonna be, at one point, there's gonna be a point when Chris Bauman is gonna take his sword out and his pike out and his halberd out, and he's gonna go into war.
A little bit of dissent over the radio from Millward as well. Not happy with Vascalompi, with him getting into the back as this battle between Tenkate and Bauman continues onto the front stretch. Is he going to get enough of a run down to turn 1? And how aggressive is he going to be with how this has been? Elbows out. Not this time. He stays behind. So Freak stays in P5.
Yeah, and they still got 10 laps to go after this one. So he's got time, Chris Bauman does. But once again, he's losing positions due to no fault of his own. But he's gonna find some way past Tenkate now. The thing is, he probably has the info on how Tenkate drives. Freak makes a mistake on turn number 5. And he's gonna be able to use that info, that scouting information. Okay, that guy's, once again, look at Freak Tenkate. He's just going sideways. He's not getting that car turned in. He's braking late. He has a lack of downforce. Now, that's gonna be a double-edged sword. For 1, Freak Tenkate is gonna be mighty fast on a straight line. For 2, Bauman's having opportunities at the exit of the corners, into turn number 1 at the exit of the chicane as well, and he's gonna look for those opportunities, and he can see Freak actually losing a bit of time on the straight line now, so maybe not as fast on the straight line as he was earlier. Bauman, however, making a mistake, breaking onto the chicane, and as a result of that, losing touch.
All this is done is obviously Simone still leading the way, but T is now your 2nd place driver. Peterson is in 3rd. And they're, of course, still followed by Vascalompi, Tenkate, and Bauman. Thomas Torp has been watching this whole thing and is also caught up to them. He has not really had the pace, but just all the action up in front has given him a chance to catch the slipstream.
It is, and we saw, it was Jamie Hall going wide, if you're wondering who that was. Jamie Hall just lap down, letting everybody through, wide in the SS, and Torp might have chances. And look who's behind Thomas Torp. It is Eetu Vainiokangas, a rookie in this series, a man who streams a lot of his races. He's from the very north of Finland, being hounded by mosquitoes the size of a horse's head right now, and he is still driving and hounding Thomas Torp. and they are trying to catch up to Bauman, to Tenkate, potentially even Vaskilampi. Meanwhile, Nick Thiessen, he is chasing down Andy T. It's gonna be very, very interesting.
As we watch them through the chicane one more time. I know we are in NASCAR country here in Georgia, but I feel like some of these drivers have embraced that a little bit too much for open wheel card. As we're watching now Andy being chased by the number 5.
He didn't hit you, he didn't crash you, he robbed you. And Robinson is racing. But I wonder, how do you race when you're alone in an island? Robinson is racing.
Well, right now, Nick Thiessen is already on the back of Andy T here. And don't need to go to it, but we had a problem with Sam Doby. He's falling down the order. I think that was a self-spin for him. So they come onto the back stretch. We already know T is struggling with the straight line speed. Thiessen approaching. Let's see if this is going to be good enough. I don't think he got a good enough exit here.
No, he didn't. And as a result of that, he's losing a bit of time. But Thiessen's still gaining. Oh, he's going to look to the inside if T allows it. And look at T. He's just staying to his own line and being confident he can defend it around the outside. Braking very late, braking too late, locking up the brakes. And that's the easiest pass of Nick Thiessen's race so far. And Vaskilampi, he's going to attack T as well. And he's going to get through too.
He's going to go side by side down through the final turn. But he's on the outside. And that compromises his speed. So Freak down to the inside into turn 1 isn't brave enough. Andy T around the outside defends, at least holds on to 4th, but from 2nd place, 2 positions down. Unfortunately, Andy off the podium.
Yeah, indeed, and that's a shame because Andy got out of the 2nd place through no fault of his own at all. And then, Tenkate makes a mistake, and that's going to allow Bauman a chance into 6th.
Takes it. He gets his car to the inside. There's overlap into there. Haven't seen too many passes here, but there's one right there. The number 9 gets himself into the top 5 once again, this time without contact.
And meanwhile, behind them, Vainiokangas has gotten through on Thomas Thorpe. And now Vainiokangas, what can he do? He is last lap 12.8, but he was in a battle. So, he might have a chance at Tenkate at the last laps of this race if they continue battling. However, Thorpe is going to come back to him.
Dude doesn't defend. Thorpe down to the inside, side by side, through the chicane, and great job by Thomas.
Yeah, well done. That's how you pass around the outside. To the inside, you stick the nose in, and then you just stick it clean, run the outside, leave the guy enough room, but still, get the exit well done. And Vainiokangas nothing doing there, but watch as he sees how it's done. Now Vainiokangas, he's gonna have his work cut out from him all over again. However, he is driving a very good race, as is Thomas Thorpe. And these positions would be great for these guys. Anything inside top 10 is great for these guys, but of course they're gonna be maybe vouching for more in this chaotic race. And now this battle further ahead of them, as Nick Thiessen got into 2nd place, Joe, he is running away a little bit, trying to run away from Teemu, trying to run away from Andy, Chris, and all of those guys.
I think Andy is more looking behind because Bauman, who had made that initial contact well before in this race, is once again behind him. And you talked about the top 10. Have we mentioned that Nick Thiessen started in 10th and he's up to 2nd place now? This has been a phenomenal run by him as T makes another mistake, and it's a repeat of last time when he lost those 2 spots, and Bauman is going to be able to get through.
Yeah, he is, but Bauman's going to be a little bit tight in the last corner. However, he held on to it very well, going to defend down the inside. This is going to allow Andy a better entry and better exit potentially if Bauman runs wide. Indeed, he does. Will Andy be brave enough? Oh, this is going to be brave if he does it.
Turn 3. This is hard to go side by side, but pull it off, and Andy T back into 4th. Woo! My goodness, that I have looked at that move many a time, but never been brave enough to try it. And hats off to the number 8 car. Holy cow.
Yeah, he was confident in his ability to do it. He was, he saw that, okay, this guy's going to defend it, Bauman's not going to get a great run. And if I stick my nose to the inside, I'm going to be able to pull that off. That's what he was thinking. However, his joy might be cut short here on the back straight.
Bauman very close, and in fact, he's already to the inside and side by side down into the chicane. Now, if T can get his braking down into this corner, maybe he could pull something back. He's still going to send it in late, and he's going to hold on to it as they go wheel to wheel one more time. Off the corner, it's a drag race down through the final turn. Still side by side. Across the start-finish line, momentum goes back in favor of Baumann. In fact, this puts T under threat from Tinkata, and he's going to try it down into turn one, but T is having none of this today.
He had 9 lives, 10 cats, but he needed 11 to get past Andy T. Tear Freak. Not quite able to pull it off. Great battle. Now Andy T, he had to brake a little bit coming onto the main straight. He had to lift off the throttle because he was on the inside. Chris Baumann on the outside was able to keep it floored. However, it's not potentially over yet because Chris Baumann making a tiny mistake in turn number 5. Not losing him too much time, but he's certainly trying his best to get away from this one.
He is absolutely fired up today because, I mean, he just is feisty with some of these fights with Baumann and now with Tinkate. As they come down the backstretch, I don't think Freak's going to have an opportunity unless we get another mistake from poor Andy down into the chicane. We're down to 5 laps to go. Going to be 4 very soon with Simone close to crossing the start-finish line. And Freak is very late on the brakes down to the chicane, but not close enough.
Indeed, and Freaks, he's certainly trying. He's trying his best, and you know what that's gonna do? We talked about Thomas Thorpe earlier, we talked about Eetu earlier on, and Alex Milward as well. He is still in the race, he is still in the 9th position. Guess what? He might be wanting a little bit more. So depending how long Andy T fights his defensive battle, if Freak and Kari can't get through him, there's gonna be chances for some other guys as well. And mind you, this is for a top 5 position.
Yeah, and all this fighting that they've experienced has dropped them off. It was before for second place, but Peterson and Vascalampi have scampered away from this group that you're seeing on screen, fighting for what is now 4th. Although Baumann looks like he may have the edge over Andy T, as that gap is up to about 9/10 of a second.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, Baumann just trying to run away with this one as fast as he can. 12.3 last time by for Baumann, 12.9 last time by for Andy T. Meanwhile, further ahead of them, don't look now, but Nick Thiessen might not have secured second place just yet.
Yeah, I think Vascalampi is going to give him a fight for it, that is for sure, as they are now down to 3 laps to go. Half a second between them. Timu has already, unfortunately, shoved off one car down in the chicane. And will Nick Thiessen be able to hold him off without it coming to blows? We still have 23 cars running in this race. We've lost a few. Hall, West, Williams, and Costa are the ones that unfortunately have retired early.
Yeah, next lap by we need to jump on board with Teemu through the S's because he's absolutely sending it through there. He was 3/10 faster last time by, a little bit slower on the early point of this lap. But here we see he's making a mistake onto the second Lesmo, onto turn 6B, and that means, Teemu is able to catch back up to him once again. And here we're right on board with him, and you can see he knows that he has 2 laps left. It's very little time, but he can also see the guy ahead of him, and he knows that if he can get a little bit closer to Nick Thiessen, he has that sweet draft down the back straight. And if he has the draft down the back straight, anything is possible because Teemu's got a fast race car today. He's got a faster car on pure downforce than Teemu was Nick Thiessen on the second place. And here, this is where I want to stay on board with him. Look at this show. As he comes to turn number 1, turn number 2, all those corners. Look how on the edge Vascalampi is. He's not caring about the curves. He just wants to drive.
Really carrying his speed and taking it right up to the edge. Little correction there. Coming through 4, now down through the S's and into 5. Let's see how he takes this one. This is a scary corner and looks incredibly smooth through there.
Whoa. That was well done from Teemu. That was so smooth all the way through turn number 5. He lost 2.5 tenths last time by in total, but this lap he's clearly gained a bit of time onto Nick Thiessen. But will it be enough? Onto the back straight they come, 9 tenths is the difference, so not quite. He's gonna be able to get a little bit, a touch of the draft, but nothing like the full draft, which you gain when you are at 6 tenths away, and he only has 1 lap to do it. Tomas Shimon coming to the last lap.
Flag is waving. Unless we get a mistake from Thiessen, I just don't think Vascalampi is looking like he's got what he had just a few laps ago. as he is dropping off. It's 0.8 of a second now.
Yeah, he's not, last time by their lap time difference was 8 milliseconds. So that's the gap that it is. Vaskilampi not getting close enough last time by, I don't think, but then again, he has the bravery on his side.
Well, Andy T and Freak Tenkata, are they going to be able to see this checkered flag, and will they still be in 5th and 6th position? Don't forget Thomas Torp behind them. This has been fierce between T and Freak. They come over turn 5. He's going to have to get closer, though, but he's been strong on the brakes down to the chicane, so I wouldn't put it past that number 16 to have a wild dive at the last chance. Meanwhile, Tomas Simon, we haven't hardly shown him much of this race. He started it on pole. He's going to finish it in the same spot as he wins here at Road Atlanta for his 2nd victory of the season.
Hats off to him, absolutely incredible performance. We're going to talk about it more and more. And Nick Thiessen, he's going to be able to hold on to the 2nd place. Teemu got close on the last lap, but screwed up his chicane, tried his best. Hats off to him, 3rd place. And it's going to be Thiessen from 10th to 2nd. 10 Bauman, T, and Freak, and Thomas Torp, and Eetu Vainiokangas, and Alex Milward, and Mike Rasimas. I'm looking further back. It's 11th, John Stevens, Severi Seppä. They are fighting. Stevens defending, Seppä attacking. This has been going on for a while. Seppä has a chance for a crossover onto the main straight. It might be a photo finish show. They're coming side by side. Seppä has touched the grass a little bit, and this is gonna allow Stevens and potentially as well Schwabauer through on the line. Willy Schwabauer stealing 12 from Severi Seppä right on the line.
Oh, that has got to be gutting for Severi. And the rest of them come through. A little bit of a battle for 15th. That goes to Roveld over Plumley. Everybody else going to be single file to the line. A stunner here today for the Sunday Grand Prix Series. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with the official results as well as driver interviews. Stick around because on screen you'll see all the upcoming races here on GSRC. Welcome back to Road Atlanta. We just watched round 3 in the Sunday Grand Prix Series for the Lotus 79 group, and Tomas Simon was your winner. He had it all his own way, but behind him it was, man, pick a lap, and everybody from 2nd down to 10th probably was in one of those positions, at least one of those laps. Thiessen wound up taking 2nd place with Teemu Vaskilampi in 3rd. Chris Bauman wound up P4, which was exactly where he started, but that really doesn't tell his tale. Andy T, he started on the front row and had to settle for 5th. His damage made life tough, unfortunately, in the latter half of the race. Freak Tenkata finished behind him in 6th, with Thomas Torp climbing up to 7th, but just didn't have the pace to try and challenge some of those drivers. Eetu Vainiokangas in 8th place was followed by Alex Milward in 9th and Mike Rasimas in 10th.
John Stevens being able to hold on to the 11th place ahead of Willy Schwabauer, who stole 12th from Severi Seppä right on the last lap. Sean Wiltshire wounding up 14th, Derek Rolwell 15th, Robert Plumley 16th, and it's Sam Doby, Dennis Shanning, Gord Jeanette, and Robert Simpkins in your 20th car, and also the last car to finish on the lead lap.
And then from there on down, Freesia a lap down, and Michelin did not show what his pace could have, 22nd for him. And we've got everybody else from there, pretty much DNF. We've got our second place finisher, Nick Tisson, with us. Nick, from 10th up to 2nd. Do you think this is just race pace, or more a case of everybody around you was tussling with each other too much?
Hey guys, I think it's both, to be honest. I think my pace in the beginning was pretty bad, but at the end was pretty good. But I think I didn't make a single normal pass. Everyone ahead of me just crashed or made a mistake or something. So I got pretty lucky this race.
I mean, it was wild from our perspective. In fact, it seemed unusual to us. Some of those drivers up at the front, we're not used to seeing the number of errors and car contacts between them. I mean, what was going on out there today? Was there something in the water?
I think it's just we kind of stayed together with like a top 10, apart from the leader, I guess. So everyone was just on top of each other, and every little mistake is immediately, you make it 3-4 wide, and then mistakes happen.
Again, congratulations on a second place. Next round, the draft is going to play even bigger of a part at Le Mans. Are you looking forward to that?
Not really. I don't much like the lowdown first tracks, but let's see how it goes.
All right. Well, we're hoping for the best for you. And again, that was Nick Tisson, our second place finisher here today. Then up next, we've got the driver trying to follow him home, Timo Vaskalampi, with Ozzy talking to him.
Teemu, you were hitting things like it was 3 a.m. and the bar was closing. What's up?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That was a horrible race. P3 from that. I didn't deserve it. I was driving like shit from the qualify to the end of the race. So disappointed. I'm very sorry to Alex. I know it was quite big net code, but I was late on braking when I knew it when I had to react to him braking. That okay.
Yeah, and apologies for the language as well. We can't control the driver, so obviously disappointed with his race. Teemu, how about next week at Le Mans? Will it be better?
Who knows about Le Mans? It's weird track. Anything can happen.
Well, at least championship-wise, you got points. Yeah, well, Teemu, better luck next time, and congratulations still for the podium. I know you're disappointed, but it's gonna play out. It's gonna play out fine. Don't worry, man. Sun's gonna shine again. We know that. It's been hot in Finland. Thank you, Teemu. Yeah. And if you got anything to say, please feel free to say so.
Nothing. Sorry. Bye.
Bye, Teemu. Well, that was a disappointed man, but I hope Joe, the next man, is a little bit less disappointed, even though his race could have been better.
It'd be hard to say. Andy, we could tell that it looked like you were down a little bit on top speed, and I'm guessing that came from the initial contact from Bauman early in the race. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. It's when I've gone back off track into the grass, the front's bottomed out and both sides of my wing have bent. So that was my race there, really. That's so annoying because I had pace for P2. I was matching Tamash's lap times at the start. So, I don't know. Before the race, I said if I could get P5, I'd be pleased. So I'm pleased, but it's a case of what could have been, yeah?
Yeah, and it seems like you've had a bit of a tough time coming in, but you've shown incredible pace here in this series. I mean, how much experience did you have in the 79 before you started racing here on the broadcast races?
Very little. There's probably a very embarrassing Twitch VOD from way back when where Teemu was getting me to try the car on the old tire model, and I could not get it through a slow corner to save my life. And I'd basically just raced Skip Barbers before this. So whilst obviously the Lotus is a lot faster, the Skippy handles in a similar way. You can just sort of throw the thing into corners. But of course, the Lotus has grip, so you can do it at speed.
And obviously, I'd say it's a good thing that you made the jump because you have shown incredible pace, like I was saying. I mean, at some point, you've got to be getting podiums and potentially wins here. Do you think Le Mans offers that up?
No, never driven Le Mans. And from what Teemu says, it's like driving some kind of wobbly monster truck with the setups we run there. So I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you. I think my pace is good. it's just a case of consistency that I don't have yet, competing against these guys who've driven this for so long.
Sure, that'll come with experience. Again, thanks for coming and talking to us. And at least you grabbed the top 5 today, Andy.
Much. Hi, Mom and Dad.
Has to get that in. So glad we brought Andy in for a little bit of a chat, but we've got to hop out now with a big thank you ourselves to the Lotus 79 community for coming in and bringing us back for another season of coverage. But also thank you to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks go to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. And thanks to the team today, Ozzy, Sean, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Also, check out our social media, with Twitter being at GSR Channel, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. If you'd like to support us, we've got a merchandise store linked below. It's gsrc.storenv.com. And make sure and subscribe. All you got to do is, while you're down there looking at the description, there's a big red button that says subscribe. And the next race, as we mentioned, heading over to France for Le Mans. That'll be Sunday, July 5th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. But we've got a race coming up in just a few moments. If you like the skippies like Andy T does, it's the Absolute Beginner Series. And we've got other upcoming races for other series listed on the screen. So check those out and mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.